I'm Alex Kemp, and I'm sitting here with Jeffrey Paradise, Poolside. The goal of this conversation is to talk about creativity, its purpose, and its process. I want to ask about your choices to pursue music. What is it about music that feels like the right avenue?
I know that I can't quit it. That's for sure. And when I started in 4th or 3rd grade, they were like, who wants to play an instrument? And I just didn't even consider not raising my hand. I joined the band, and I think there's something like we were talking about earlier. I just think it's very evocative. When I think of like how music makes me feel, I'm like, I want to do that too. Like I want to create stuff that makes other people feel that, and just me, even if other people decide, no, that sucks, like it made me feel something. And that process of doing that is something I get absorbed into. Like I just get absorbed, and like time can just slip by, and I can look back and be like, God, that would have been boring if I was doing any other thing but music.
No, but that's really interesting, because I think music has a way of bringing out, and maybe acting does this too, I don't know, but music has a way of making the artist vulnerable that other art forms I don't really see. Like if I look at a fucking Bryce Marden painting, I don't think, oh, he's so vulnerable. It's like color field painting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know that I feel his vulnerability. But if I listen to the first Violent Femmes record, it's just dripping in like human weakness.
That vulnerability is really, I think, what people love about music in certain ways when they really connect with music. It's certainly what I connect with music, and what I do my best to stay connected with. And I would like to say, I feel like I'm pretty good at like shutting out those voices. They're there. I would be lying to be like, but I just go, okay, I gotta just really hone into, do I like it? Do I not like it? What don't I like about it? And just really focus on that.
What could you say to an artist or a performer to give them a technique to turn that vulnerability into confidence?
So this is not direct, but journaling is something I do a lot of, and and when I start journaling, I never know what I'm gonna say. I mean, sometimes, but rarely. I usually intentionally just go start off so banal, just like today this happened, yesterday
Johnny looked at me.
Just had a glass of Sancerre last night, whatever. And then next thing you know, you're saying some stuff you didn't realize was an issue. And so I think just kind of sometimes it's almost get that out of the way. Just admit it. You're vulnerable, you're a pussy, you're scared, you're afraid of success, you're afraid of failure. Kind of just get that part out of the way that you are.
Poolside as a statement has, I think, a really specific vein that it follows, a cultural path that it's weaving amongst certain kinds of music. Specifically, working often in a certain tempo range. I'm thinking the balance of electronics to live instrumentation, where there's frequently an electronic kick drum that's foundational versus guitar elements. Was that a conscious choice? Was that something you discovered more kind of in the process?
I mean, a lot of those choices were literally to be let's either ignore all the rules or break all the rules. And this is starting around late 2010, early 2011. And again, our version of what was allowed might be wrong, but what we saw was very compartmentalized. Dance music sounded like this, rock music sounded like this, indie music was here. There were still a lot of people that didn't like dance music or whatever, and then there was people who liked just dance music who didn't want to hear a guitar, that was for rock. And we specifically were fuck all that shit. We like all those sounds, let's make them together, let's not make the kick super pounding, or let's not but let's make dance music that's not really for the dance floor. And and then put in all the like human fragileness and like humanity to it that isn't just strictly electronic music, but let's use synthesizers too. You know, it was very like, let's fucking make a stew, you know, let's do this like completely. So we did set out to sort of not be confined.
This is the first time that you've worked with a lot of different co-writers, and the team on this record is a lot bigger than the earlier stuff you've done in Poolside.
Yes.
What have the experiences been like? What are the pros? What are the cons?
I feel like I've loved the collaborative process, and I've really liked the versatility, because you could be like, oh, I know this person's got these kind of skills and I like these pieces of that, so let's make a song that emphasizes the things I like, and they kind of like that feedback where they kind of are freer because they're not like having to be like, this represents me as much. But so that process has been awesome. The only limitation I would say is like you have a lot of personalities that are all have their own like, this is what's important to me, this is like, they don't care about one thing, they do care about another. But you know, where everyone has like a whole set of like wants and needs, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, like there's like, this all has to work too, you know, or the song dies.
All right.
Sounds good. Hey,
thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Alex.